Hey yogis, welcome to Hannah Adams Yoga. Thanks for joining. For today's flow, I'm going to bring you through a variety of poses, and within these different poses and transitions, we'll be exploring the resonance of Om, and that we'll be working in a meditation in the beginning to get into the feeling of what that is. For today's flow, you might want a couple blocks or a strap or a blanket at any given point to support your practice, so go gather what you think you might need, and I'll meet you on your mat when you're ready. Welcome back, yogi. I want you to get started in a seated cross-legged shape with your palms in prayer in front of your heart. And in this prayer pose, allow the elbows to soften. They might even rest against your body a bit. So it's really relaxed in the arms, the hands gently pressing, and eyes closed. And just give yourself a moment to locate your breath. It's right where you are. See if you can use the next couple of breaths to find more movement and space along the spine and ribs. Finding a bit more ease perhaps in the low back or around the hips, just by locating breath movement. And then see if with the next couple of breaths you could be less interested in the top and bottom of the breath, the moments of fullness and emptiness, and be more invested in the in-between moments when you're in the midst of filling yourself up or in the midst of emptying. So each part of the breath starts to feel equally important. Give yourself one more breath. Let the breath be the star of the show. And we're going to take an inhale to prepare for 3 Oms. Give yourself a moment just to feel the resonance of that tone. You're going to continue to breathe in and out of your nose, closing the mouth gently and controlling the exhale as if you're oming with your mouth closed. And that will create a little ujjayi in the breath, a little gentle contraction of your whisper muscles in the back of your throat as you exhale. Finding that secret Om in the breath. And so you'll maintain that resonance that you've just cultivated with your oming within your practice by maintaining the breath, a little bit of ujjayi, that controlled, lengthened exhale, not rushing to the end. Give yourself a full breath in, open the eyes. And as you exhale, take a twist to face the right, so your left hand comes to your right kneecap, and your right fingertips are behind you, pressing the ground away to lengthen the spine. And you can use your hands to leverage some length and twist, but use your breath more. Use the movement of the breath, the directions that are already set up in your breath, to move in the direction that you'd like to go in. Give yourself another breath to deepen your twist and really feel that left hand holding on to the kneecap firmly. Don't let that go. Give it another full breath in And then exhale, your right arm is gonna thread underneath your left arm. So your right hand grabs the opposite knee, and you use that to leverage a deep cross in the upper arm. Some of you might even grab the underneath part of your legs. And then you're exposing the upper back just for a breath movement. See if you can feel the inhale wander into your upper back. And then keep the cross of your upper arms. Either hug yourself, hands to shoulder blades, or eagle bind, bringing your hands up, lifting your elbows and let your head fall back. Give yourself a breath. You can stay here longer whenever it feels done for now. Separate the elbows, spread the fingers so you're cactusing your arms. Spread your hands enough that you feel a stretch across the palms. Give it an inhale. When you're ready, bring your hands back and down. Uncross your legs, reverse tabletop. Feet and hands press down, the hips lift up. Give yourself an inhale like something smells really pleasant. And on your exhale, you're going to sit down, change the crossing of your legs, and take a soft twist to face the left. So your right hand finds the left knee. Your left fingertips find the ground behind you. And you use the arms to find a little length, to find a little bit of the direction of the twist. But notice how your breath movement is already moving where you want to go. You just kind of have to feel into the timing of it. Feel into some of the nuances of your breath movement as it is, and work with that to go where you'd like to go. So you're riding the breath like a mode of transit into the twist. Your right hand is now firmly holding on to the knee. Give it another full breath in. Don't let the hand go. And then exhale, your left arm's going to thread under to grab a hold of the opposite knee or opposite outer leg or underneath. So you're really crossing the upper arms. And you give yourself a breath. Let the inhale move into the back. And you could either hug yourself or bring the hands up for your eagle bind, lifting the elbows, let the head fall back. Give yourself a breath. And when you're ready to exit, cactus the arms, separate the elbows and spread the fingers wide. Smile in your palms, smile in the chest, maybe in the face. And you just keep going in that direction until your hands come back and down. You uncross your legs, reverse tabletop. Give that a moment for the inhale to really fill the shape up. And almost an oming in your exhale as you sit your hips down slowly. From here, you're going to hug the knees in towards your chest. Enjoy that moment. Give yourself a hug, maybe even kiss your kneecaps. And you do this whenever you're ready. You'll exit, rock forward and back along the length of your spine to massage out your back, to feel into the full length of your spine, to have some fun and get some momentum, eventually making your way to downward facing dog. When you land in down dog, there's a moment where you want to set up the edges of your hands by pinching through the fingertips a bit, suctioning through the palms. That might create a sense of lift through the forearms so you're not collapsing into your wrists. And you're using this energy in your hands, the efforting in your hands, to lift the hips. And you're using the lift of the hips to feel a sense of weight driving towards the legs. So your legs are really standing in this pose. Give yourself a moment, land your eyes between your shins. And so you've set up the skin, you've set up the bones and the muscles and the eyes are all relatively still, just so your breath movement is that much more noticeable. And we're going to continue to work with what's happening in our breath to find our way from one thing to the other. So I want you to coordinate with your inhale and shift forward into your high plank. Coordinate with your exhale to lower down onto your belly, pointing your feet. Working with your inhale to back bend, maybe cobra or upward dog. And working with your exhale back to downward facing dog. It could be through tabletop or high plank. And we're just going to be adding a little bit more om with those exhales. And the first one will even om out loud, and then you can choose if you want to actually om or just take the exhale like om. So you're going to inhale to your high plank, prepare for your om. Om your way down, low push-up. Om. When you're ready, inhale up dog or cobra. And an exhale like om back to downward dog. A moment of stillness with the hands, the hips, the heels, the eyes. Find your breath. We're going to do that one more time, then it'll come up later on. So take your inhale, high plank, preparing for your om. Exhale to lower. Om. Inhale to your up dog or cobra. And exhale towards your downward facing dog. Really stand in your legs in down dog. So much that your hands walk towards your feet, come into a standing forward fold at the back of your mat. And so your feet are firmly standing into the ground. You feel a sense of lift and tone in your legs. And it's from that support of your legs that you're releasing the weight of your head and arms. Give yourself a breath to fall forward in the fold from the confident support in your legs. And then from your legs standing tall, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take that for another breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And your feet are standing on the ground. That's the first floor. But then you start to lift through the pelvic floor. So your torso starts to lift. Your torso standing on that second floor. And then your head lifts and you have the roof of your mouth, which is also the floor of your skull. And you're allowing your eyes to rest there. You're allowing the weight of your head to rest into the support of the spine. So you have these three floors that are actively stacked on top of each other, and everything in between can rest into that support. And then you're going to press your feet down so much that your arms reach up to the sky. Big breath in. Keep the pressure of your feet down. Reach the arms up a little higher. Give it another full breath in, Udvastasana. And then exhale, palms to prayer, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, come to the balls of your feet. And then exhale, crawl your way forward into your high plank. Give it an inhale to prepare for your om. Low push-up. Om. Inhale towards your upward dog or equivalent. Exhale to downward facing dog. Find a little bit of that resonance of om in your exhale so you're not rushing to the end of it. And then start to stand so fully in your legs that your hands have to walk back towards your feet, standing forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, get long. And then exhale, fold. And your feet are pressing down. You really establish that first floor. Your legs start to tone and lift. You start to lift to standing. Your pelvic floor is then established, so your torso lifts even more, resting into your pelvic floor. Your third floor, the roof of your mouth, starts to come up, and you have that sense of support there. You'll reach the arms up to the sky, full breath in. Don't fold forward, but exhale, palms to prayer. And then you start to exaggerate the floor under your left foot. Your left foot steps down, and then all three floors have to shift to stack on top of the floor under your left foot. And that way the right foot will naturally start to lift up and you find your tree pose. Don't move your third floor. If you want to move the right foot above the knee, make sure that you're not compromising your building. Give yourself a couple breaths to find your tree pose, a little bit of that om in the exhale, or maybe you want to actually om. Give it another full breath in. And then exhale, just step your right foot forward, like halfway up your mat, shift forward into your right foot. Find your 3 floors from the bottom of your right foot to the pelvis to the eyes. And then eagle pose, left leg over, left arm under. And now even though there's going to be bending in your knees, you still have those 3 points of reference that are going to stay stacked and supporting. Give yourself a couple breaths, maybe lift the elbows a little more or bend the knees a little more. Whenever you feel ready to leave, bring your palms to prayer and take another step forward, left foot to the front of your mat. Shift all 3 floors to the left leg and reach your left arm up to the sky, just like Udvastasana. Bend your right knee behind you and grab a hold of the arch of your foot and pause. Give yourself a couple breaths to just feel the first couple layers of tension around your quad or your hip or your knee. And just softening into the early step of a dancer's pose. And as you start to gradually open up a little more, you might press the foot a little further back, lifting over the left leg a little more sturdy. Give yourself another breath to find a fuller expression of your dancer pose. And whenever you feel ready, bring your left hand to your waist. Hug the right knee in towards your chest. You could stay there or grab a hold of your right big toe and extend the right leg. Keep track of your building from your left foot to your pelvis to your eyes. Give yourself a breath or 2. Whenever you're ready to exit, you step the right foot down, reach the arms up to the sky. Udvastasana, big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, get long. Exhale, step to your high plank. You could actually om or just take your exhale like om. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, low push-up. Don't rush to the end. Inhale towards your upward dog or equivalent. Exhale towards your downward facing dog. Give it a moment to situate with the heels, hands, and hips so you're establishing the physical stillness in the skins, the bones, the eyes. But then there's that other layer of stillness for the mind and the spirit because you're being with the movement of your breath. And then coordinate with an exhale to stand in your legs more and walk the hands back to a standing forward fold back of your mat. And then inhale, halfway lift, get long. Exhale, forward fold. Establish the first floor, really press the feet down. Your second floor, the pelvis lifts. And then eventually the eyes lift. Once you're upright, reach the arms to the sky, Udvastasana, inhale. Don't fold forward, but exhale, palms to prayer. Shift over the right leg. So the right foot is standing, the pelvis shifts towards the right leg a bit more, and the head also shifts. So your left foot can lift up, and you start to craft your tree pose in whatever variation you want to move towards. Don't move your floors, especially the 3rd floor. Give yourself a couple breaths. My leggings are slippery. Find a place for your foot that can stay. Give yourself another full breath in. And when it feels complete, without looking down, step your left foot about halfway up your mat, shift into your left foot, all 3 floors go with you, and then eagle, right leg over, right arm under. And the front of the hips and the front of the shoulders equally face forward. So cautious that because you cross the right leg, you don't want to cross the hip over, because then you'll start to lose your balance. And keep that sense of your 3 floors stacked, even though the space between is a bit more bent and gathered. Another full breath. And when it feels complete, palms to prayer, you'll step the right foot all the way to the front of your mat, shift all the way into your right leg so your left leg can lift behind you. Don't rush to the end. Take a moment, feel your right foot pressing down, and then reach your right arm up. You'll bend your left knee behind you to grab a hold of maybe the arch of the foot, and then you pause, not trying to make it something other than what it is, and just give yourself a couple breaths to be with the first layer of tensions or sensations that present themselves. And working with your breath movement as it is naturally to maybe move in the direction that you'd like to move in. There's already directions happening with the breath. Work with them. Maybe you give it one more inhale. And when you're ready, you'll exhale, hug the left knee in towards your chest, right hand to the waist. And you could stay there or grab a hold of your left big toe. Keep your floor stacked if you want to extend your left leg out to the side. Give yourself a couple breaths. And whenever it feels complete, both feet step down, arms reach up, big breath in. Last time, exhale, palms to prayer, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, get long, step or hop, oming in the exhale, low push-up. Inhale towards your up dog or equivalent. And then exhale, downward facing dog. You can stay in down dog for a couple breaths. Finding a little bit of that om and the quality of your exhale so you're not rushing. Give it another full breath out. And then take an inhale, come to your high plank. From your high plank, the front of your hips are going to twist to face the right. Your feet won't touch each other because they're staggered. And then you're going to bend your knees a lot, sitting the weight of your hips back towards your left heel almost. And then upper body almost like down dog. And then you press into the feet, drive back forward into your high plank, twist the front of the hips to face left. You bend your knees, you sit back kind of towards your right heel. And then you drive it back forward to your high plank, twist the hips to face right, same thing, bend your knees. Keep this going, kind of pumping through your legs to and from your high plank, just to enjoy the twist of the hips and to wake up through the side body a bit. Give it another breath to play with. And then once you're in plank, pause, inhale. And then exhale, downward facing dog. In your down dog, I just want you to twist the front of the hips to face right enough that your right heel can really lower down like the back leg of a warrior one. And you're really standing in that right leg. You're going to bring the left knee in towards your chest and step the left foot forward between your hands, setting up for warrior one. Come up by standing in your right leg. So as you come up, you feel the right heel pressing down, the right buttocks engaged. And you just want to work to have the front of the right hip draw forward, the outer left hip draw back. Even though it won't perfectly face forward, you're working in that direction, bending into your left knee, and then reach the arms up to the sky. Keep the effort in your right leg. Give yourself 2 focused breaths. Eyes are still, a little om in the exhale. Give it another full breath in. And then exhale, open on up to warrior two. Widen your stance, widen through the arms, eyes past your left hand. 1 focused breath with a little bit of om. Inhale, flip the left palm, reverse warrior, and then straighten your left leg, reverse triangle. Give it another moment of inhale. And then exhale, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Your left hand comes down to the shin perhaps, and your right arm reaches up to the sky. Spreading the right palm so there's a smiling there. Maybe opening the arm kind of untraditionally so that you get a bit more upper back bend and there's a smile in the chest, maybe the face. Give it another full breath. And can you feel yourself really standing in your legs so your feet are on that first floor really sturdily, so much that the pelvic floor gets a little lift. Give yourself another full breath in. And then exhale, you can bend your left knee so you can lower the right hand down. You're gonna be turning this into a side plank. If you have a hold of your left big toe in your triangle, keep holding onto it as you come to your side plank. Otherwise, just hug the knee in towards your chest. And we're gonna flow in and out of this. So you're gonna step the left foot back down, come back up into your triangle, big breath in. Exhale towards your side plank, right hand down. Your left leg could be bent or straight as you lift it up. Take this for another round. Lower the foot, lift the right arm up, inhale. Exhale, lower the hand. Keep standing in your right leg as you lift the left leg up. Good. Pause in your side plank. If you have the foot, release it so the leg is bent. Lower your left hand down like plank. Lower your left knee down like tabletop. And then grab a hold of your right foot with your right hand for a quad stretch. Allow your left foot to adjust behind you so you can balance more easily. And if you have an easy hold of the foot, maybe hold the ankle. If that feels pretty effortless, maybe hold the shin. And just giving yourself that feedback to press your foot, your leg into the hand. And then imagine that your thighs are an extension of your lungs and you take a big breath in to fill it up. Find a little bit of oming in the exhale. Another breath or two. Another full breath in. As you exhale, reach the right arm straight to the sky and kick the right leg off the side of your mat. Give it another inhale, open the right arm, similar to what we explored in triangle, allowing the chest to smile at the ceiling. Give that another full breath in. And then exhale, you're gonna thread the right arm under the left, and it might just be a reach. If it's comfortable to lower down. And if it's available, cross the left arm under the right arm, just like we had done holding our knees earlier. So you're really crossing the upper arms, maybe your head rests. And you just give that a breath or two wherever you are. So another full breath in. And then exhale, eagle your arms or hug yourself and lift up to standing. Find that little back bend, lifting the elbows, let the head fall back. Give it a full breath in. And when you're ready, step your right knee in and open your arms to cactus, pressing into your knees. Drive the hips forward so it's like a camel with a cactus arm. You could stay here if that feels good, or it might feel so spacious that you want to bring your knees together, sit between your heels, bring your hands behind you for the first layer of your Virasana, your hero's pose. Maybe you want to lower down to your forearms. If it's me, I grab a couple blocks and a bolster, and I allow the back body to find whatever height it needs in a given moment to support a disengagement. Give yourself about 3 breaths. Try not to rush to any sort of end. And you allow yourself to be right where you are, where all directions are already happening, especially in your breath movement. And you work with those natural occurrences, finding what's moving in your favor, and you work with that, and you can move with less effort exactly where you'd like to go. Give it another full breath in. And then work with your exhale to lift up, moving any props to your side. You'll have another opportunity to be here, so maybe keep what you use nearby. And then make your way to tabletop, hands and knees. Take an inhale to cow and lift the eyes, curl the toes. And then exhale towards your downward facing dog. Give that a breath. And then you're going to inhale, come to your high plank. Twist the front of the hips to face left. Bend your knees a lot, kind of sitting towards your right heel, down dog in the arms. And then press into your feet to drive it forward, high plank, twisting to face right, bending your knees, otherwise like down dog. Take this once more in each direction. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, twist and bend. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, twist and bend. You'll take one more inhale to your high plank. This time, exhale, down dog. Twist the front of the hips just a little to the left so your left heel can really stand down. standing into your left leg, even as you bring the right knee in towards your chest and step the right foot forward. The only reason your upper body lifts is because you stand over your left leg. Left foot presses, arms reach up. You start to feel into your warrior one, allowing the direction of the hips to face forward, even if you don't make it completely, especially because you want to keep the back leg the center almost. Give yourself a focused breath, landing the eyes still, breath full of movement. Give it another full breath in. And when you're ready, exhale, open on up to your warrior two. Take your time to fidget, take up space with the arms and legs, eyes past the right hand, and a focused breath. Be right where you are. Inhale, flip the right palm, reverse warrior, straighten the right leg, reverse triangle. Give that a nice full breath in. And then exhale, triangle pose. Right hand to the shin perhaps, left arm up to the sky. Maybe you find that back bend quality in today's triangle. Why not? Give it a breath or two, and some of you might have the comfort of grabbing a hold of your right big toe, but don't feel pressure if that's not available. Give yourself another full breath in, and then exhale, lower your left hand down. You can always bend your right knee and start to find your side plank, reaching your right leg up, giving that a moment, and you'll continue to flow in and out of these, so lowering the right foot, so you can lift the left hand, triangle, inhale. Exhale towards your side plank, a nice oming long exhale so you have plenty of time to make the transition. Give yourself maybe one more breath to transition from your Trikonasana triangle pose to your side plank. From your side plank, if you have a hold of the foot, let it go so you can bend the knee. Start to lower your right hand down like plank, lower your right knee down like tabletop, and then reach the left arm up. Grab a hold of your left foot. My mistake, so you're in your quad stretch. Give yourself a breath to get situated. Maybe the hand wants to wander somewhere along the ankle or shin. And using your imagination, because that is something that is in your physical body, and you imagine that your thigh is an extension of your lung, and that way as you inhale, the nervous system in that space can open up a bit and receive more of the breath movement. Or let the weight of your head settle back a little. Give it another full breath. And then you're going to reach your left arm straight to the sky this time, and then straighten out your left leg. Kick it off the side of your mat. And then find that triangle pose, like opening through the chest that we explored. So you're smiling at the ceiling. Give it another full breath at least. And you could always stay here. If you'd like to explore, you could thread the left arm under. Maybe also thread the right arm under, so you have that upper arm cross already. Wherever you are, give it a breath or two. And then start to stand in your feet more so you can eagle your arms, lifting through the pelvis and the head to come upright, allowing the elbows to lift and the head to fall back. Give it a breath. And when you're ready, you'll cactus your arms, stepping your left knee in. If you're staying in camel, drive the hips forward. Drive the knees down, and the back will happen. Things will go back. You could stay there or bring the knees together, sitting towards your heels, finding your Virasana, your hero's pose for the second time. Maybe things have opened up a bit more, so you'll have to adjust your props. Give yourself a few breaths, even though you want to bend back. There's movement in the front body and the side body that has to happen to move with you. So maybe you focus more on the other directions of your breath movement. Whenever you're ready, you exhale to come up and you make your way to tabletop on your hands and knees. In this tabletop, start to move your head and your hips in circles. So you're really welcoming plenty of lateral movement in the spine. Give yourself about 3 breaths to move really wiggly in your cat-cow, kind of move in between, even child pose, allowing the shoulders to make circles around the hands, just like your hips are making circles around your knees. Give yourself 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, pause in a still tabletop position so all you're left with is the movement of your inhale. And then exhale, curl the toes, downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment to be in your down dog, nice and strong and established in your legs. And still lots of breath movement in your sides. Plenty of tone and support in the front, the belly, the abdominals lifting. Energy in your hands. Give yourself another breath to be with everything that you've woken up in your movements and your poses. Until you feel ready, you'll step or hop your feet through your hands to come onto your butt. And you'll extend the legs out in front of you. Take a moment maybe to walk the sit bones back and pull your leggings up, and then you'll reach the arms up to the sky once you're ready. Now, we're going to be going into a forward fold, and the tricky part there is that it's called a forward fold. So we focus a lot on moving forward, but we're going to consider if the other directions can help us too. So give yourself an inhale just to be right where you are. And then exhale, start to move forward into your forward fold, and certain things will happen and we'll address it. But you start to move forward, and maybe you have a strap on your foot if you can't hold the feet directly, which is fine. Whatever you're holding on to, you're going to use that not to pull yourself forward. You've already set up forward. We don't need to do any more forward. What I want you to do is use that to lift up. Your head, your chest lifts up. Your sit bones walk back. Your back body is going back and wide a little bit. Can you widen through the torso? Find the lateral movement of your inhale. And can all of those other directions be so full? Can you go so high up with the head, so far back with the sit bones, and so wide with the breath that there's nowhere else to go but a little more forward? And then you pause once you do that, and you allow your inhale to offer a little more sense of your back and your side, a little more sense of up and down. And all those directions are really going to be what bring you forward. Give yourself a couple more breaths, work with the up and down, the side to side, and allow those directions to bring you forward. And so rather than excluding the things that are beside us or behind us, excluding them from moving forward, we're including them, we're recruiting them to help us because they're a relevant part of the equation in moving forward. Give yourself another full breath in. And then exhale, hug the right knee in towards your chest and roll onto your back. You're going to turn this into a spinal twist. Draw the knee across your chest and open the right arm. You could keep that as it is, or your left hand could find your right foot instead, maybe straightening the leg. And then lifting your head up, locate your left foot, bending the knee, and then you could grab a hold of the left foot with your right hand maybe for a quad stretch. Lowering your head down wherever you are and give yourself a few easy breaths. When you're ready to exit, you're going to come into your back for figure 4. So the right foot comes to the left thigh, and then either grab the back of your left leg or your left shin, finding maybe a little rocking side to side, but whatever active movements you choose to have here, just make sure your breath movement is still the star of the show. We'll get another full breath in. And then exhale, just release the right leg straight on the ground, hug the left knee in towards your chest, and then find your spinal twist on the other side. Left knee to the right, open your left arm to the left, and let your breath happen. Maybe that left hand crawls down the leg towards the foot, or your right hand rather, towards the foot. Maybe your left hand wants to find your right foot for a quad stretch. Give yourself a breath or two to play with your pretzel twist. Whenever it feels balanced with the other side, you'll come onto your back, figure four other side, left foot to the right thigh. Either grab the back of the right leg or the shin and give yourself a moment. Let the breath movement offer you some space or some disengagement. You're here until it feels complete, and whenever you're ready, you're just going to come into a soft bridge. So you bring the feet down and the arms down, and you lift your hips up. Just for a really soft bridge. You could even keep the shoulders neutral, and just give it a moment of inhale just to stretch through the front of the thighs one last time. And then exhale, roll the spine on down. You'll come into happy baby or your equivalent. So if you can't hold the feet, grab the backs of the legs, and you can be floppy with the feet. And maybe rock a little side to side. Give yourself a couple more breaths to let the back body be primed for your Savasana. And maybe there's one last pose that you'd like to express in your practice. I'm feeling like plow pose in my body, so that's what I'm going to work towards. Maybe you relate, or maybe there's another variation of a final pose that you're craving. Give yourself another 4 breaths to personalize this last moment. Whenever you're ready, you'll slowly make your way to your back, extending the legs out in front of you, kind of towards the front corners of your mat, having the palms facing up, and have the arms as wide as your space allows, so you're taking up space. Especially now, it's important that we feel uninhibited in taking up space that is available. And maybe you can close your eyes and just give yourself the next few breaths to follow the direction of your exhale, where things naturally organize in the body around letting go. And so you can really let go into all of the support that's available from the ground, that true floor. Allow the whole body to rest into that. And not excluding anything that shows up while you are where you are. Welcome it. It is equally a part of where you are. And take a gentle but purposeful breath. And start to move the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles. Get a hinge at the elbows and then reach the arms over your head for a stretch, really flexing the feet as you reach the arms. Big breath in. And then exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug, maybe even kiss your knees. And when you're ready, you'll either rock up to seated for a burst of energy or come to your side first if it's later in the day maybe, and then make your way up. coming into a cross-legged shape just like you had started, with your palms in prayer in front of your heart and your eyes closed. Give yourself a moment to get comfortable there. And even though you're sitting, there's still 3 floors that you can rest into. Here, your sit bones and parts of your legs are standing into the first floor. Your pelvic floor gets a natural lift so your torso can rest into that. And locating the roof of your mouth, also the basement of your skull, and letting the top of your head rest into that support. And then you can relax into all of that support to be right where you are, right where your breath movement is happening. Letting it go out in all directions. We're just going to readdress the sound of Om to feel into all that we've woken up in our bodies with our practice. So take your inhale to prepare. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining, Yogi. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Definitely come back for more with Hannah Adams Yoga. Be well.